Now that you have completed all sections in Unit 5, you are ready for the Assess Your Skills activities found at the end of the unit. The second Assess Your Skills activity is a Google Slide Interactive. It's a puzzle. The purpose of this video is to provide some direction or guidance as to how you should complete this activity. The screen where we begin is the Assess Your Skills section at the end of Unit 5. We are going to have a look at Assess Your Skills Activity 2, the Google Slide Interactive, which is a puzzle. To begin, we click on the Interactive Activity banner as instructed. A new tab opens and you're asked to make a copy of the file. Click on Make a Copy. And a Google Slide tab opens containing the puzzle you have to complete. First, though, you can hide the menu to the left by clicking on the arrow, as shown. Now we have a better view of our puzzle. The title of the puzzle activity is The Addition and Subtraction of Fractions and Mixed Numbers. The directions tell us to drag, turn, and drop the puzzle pieces on the left to fit the puzzle board on the right. And we're also told that the calculation or number on the side of each square must equal the calculation or number on the side of the adjacent square. So we see that our puzzle pieces have been digitally stacked and our puzzle board or our mat is to the right of those. We'll now click and drag on a couple of random puzzle pieces and bring them over to our puzzle board. In my case, I'm using a mouse and I hold the left click as I drag the puzzle piece across and then let go of the click to drop it. And I'll take over another one, drag over, drop it. The whole idea here is to match up addition or subtraction calculations with answers. The answer to a calculation will always be on a different square, but the two sides will be next to each other when positioned correctly. And at this point, very important to point out that the puzzle pieces can be rotated using the little circle attached to the puzzle piece. So if I'm looking at this puzzle piece here, I see the little circle, and again I left click, and I can turn as much as I want. I want to put it in this square up here and turn to the left, rotate, and there we go. It fits in that square nicely. I could do the same thing with this square. If I want to put it here, click on the little circle, rotate a little bit, and there we go. So now the big question is, how do we actually start fitting these puzzle pieces into our puzzle board? Well, the way this works is that let me just position two of these puzzle pieces together for a second. And I want to draw your attention to 8 over 9 subtract 1 over 9 on the left puzzle piece. And directly opposite that, I see 3 and 11/12 subtract 2 and 5/12. Well, I will know immediately that it is impossible for these two pieces to go next to each other because one side of your puzzle has to be a calculation and the other side will be an answer. In this case, I have two calculations. Can't happen. So if I wanted to, I could take the right puzzle piece, and if I rotated that, fair it up a little tiny bit. So now on the left puzzle piece, I have my 8 over 9 subtract 1 over 9, and directly opposite that, on the puzzle piece next to it, I have a 1 and 4/9. So now I do have a calculation and I have an answer. The question is that answer correct for that particular calculation? So is 8 over 9 subtract 1 over 9 1 and 4/9? The answer? No, it's not. So again, these two puzzle pieces will not go next to each other as positioned here. So if I wanted to find the correct puzzle piece, I would need to search for, in my puzzle pieces to the left, the answer for 8 over 9 subtract 1 over 9. Let me just move a puzzle piece again, and let's consider a different scenario. Now I want our focus to be on the 1 and 5/8 and the 3 and 11/12 subtract 2 and 5/12. So we do have a calculation and we do have an answer. The question is 3 and 11/12 subtract 2 and 5/12, does that equal 1 and 5/8? They are directly opposite each other. So if you were to do that calculation, you would discover that 3 and 11/12 subtract 2 and 5/12 is not equal to 1 and 5/8. Not a match here. So these two puzzle pieces would not go positioned as they are. At this point, I just want to drag out another couple of pieces for a reason. I'm going to drag out this one, and I'm going to drag out this one. I'm going to put this one back for a second. If you're being observant, you will have noticed that some squares have answers or calculations on all 4 sides. Some have 3. And there are a few puzzle pieces with only 2. This is a huge clue. Without giving away too much, I know where I would start positioning the squares with only 2 answers or calculations. I'm thinking corners of the puzzle board all the way. For a blank side, there will be no other puzzle piece to cozy up next to it. So if I was looking at the puzzle piece with the 4/7 and the 7/9 plus 2/3, I would consider putting it here. That's a possibility. If I moved it up to the top left corner, though, I would need to rotate it in order to have those 2 blank sides positioned correctly. And you could ultimately try all 4 corners. If you happen to get to a point where you think you have 3 or 4 puzzle pieces correct, so let me see. Let's say I put this one here, put this one back up in the corner, this one in the middle here. Now, if you think that they're positioned correctly, but you want to move them as a group, then you can click on one, hold down your Shift key, click on the other, and then click on another, however many you want to move at the same time. Lift up on your Shift key, so then you're just dragging and dropping all 3 pieces wherever you want to move them. And then you can click outside the selected area to move the pieces individually once again. Now, just a suggestion, if it was me, I would probably begin this activity by completing all of the addition and subtraction calculations that are found on the puzzle pieces to determine answers, then begin the matching process. And once you have your puzzle completed, when you think you have a solution, you can go back to your lesson page, click on Assess Your Skills, and you can check your answers here. Well, give this puzzle a try before you go checking any answers. Be patient with this activity. Be sure to do all your calculations correctly. Have fun, and good luck.